It's counting down. Oh no. Here it goes.
I just set up the website this weekend, so made it official. So yeah, you can go to facesoffulshear.com, see yourself now.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I sent John these pictures. So he sent me a picture, and I was like, oh, I don't really like the teal shirt. He had like a teal colored shirt. And so I found this AI body of like, it's a pretty buff, person, and with a dark blue shirt on. So I was able to like, in AI, you type in thin white man in dark blue shirt, and so it gave me a body. And then so I just cut the head off the body and put John's head on it. And I was like, hey, is it cool if we use this one because I don't like your teal shirt with the colors? I think he was just done with it, and so he said, yeah, sure.
Like, yeah.
But
why not?
I ended up using the teal one because it looks a little bit off. I asked my family, and everybody was like, no, use the teal. And they didn't even know that the other one was fake, and they still said use the teal one. So I was like, all right. I'll forget that hour that it took me to Photoshop John's body. What's up, John?
Sorry for the tardiness, guys. The worst part is I can't blame anybody but myself since nobody's in my house. I could normal Sundays I could be like the kids, dude.
It was some kids.
This is some kids every time. I tried. I've been on the mic for 10 minutes. They just wouldn't hush. No.
Are they still out of town?
They're still out of town. Yeah.
You're a little quiet on your end.
Oh, am I? Hold on.
Because he's got a quiet house. So
got a quiet house. Yeah, it is weird to have. It's great for work. But around 6 o'clock, I'm like, man, this house is bigger than I remember. This is pretty, like, there's no humans running around. It's pretty wild. Yeah.
Isn't it weird when you have an empty house? Like what I do, and I think it's okay to admit this, but I have to play music. Like I have to have some noise. And I'm at home occasionally, without my family. But when they're out of town, I don't know what it is. Like I have to turn on music, TV, something. Just makes me feel better. Maybe I'm just lonely. It's probably what I'm just lonely.
I'm the weird one that likes silence. Like I'm in the car a lot of times and just silence in the car. And I think that's weird. I think I'm stranger than needing or wanting to have some music or something playing in the background. I think that's pretty normal.
I don't know, because I like to, my wife will say, it's another thing that I don't know if I want to admit, but she'll be like,
This is your therapy session, Luther. Just dig into it, dude.
It's like, oh, Dad's just staring at the wall, or I'll just sit there and look out the window. Like I could sit there and think for an hour, like, but I don't know if that's normal. I know you don't do that, John.
I do that all the time.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
I think of you as a more active, like you got to be going type guy.
I am active. I've disciplined myself to slow down. One of my weaknesses is like, so every morning, the first thing I do, the only reason my wife makes fun of me because I wake up at 5 every morning and she's like, what in the world are you doing? The only reason I do it, and this is like maybe a deep story for me just jumping on this podcast 3 minutes ago, but I'll share it anyway. Which is like, so I got a little bit more committed. I got a lot more committed, I guess, actually. Like a year and a half ago to starting my day with God. So like I would go on my back porch, read my Bible, and I was just trying to create a habit. And at the time I woke up at 6. Well, at the time Colin was 3, almost 4. And I started to get frustrated because he's got the energy that I have. So he's like, as soon as he gets enough energy, he's like up, and he's a 3-year-old at the time. So he doesn't like work his way into 3-year-old energy. It's just like I'm up, so it's noon in my energy cycle. Like I'm going, right? And so he woke up for like the 4th day in a row at like 6:25. And at that point, I had only been outside on the porch for like 10 minutes. And he walked out and I was like, what? And I could tell I was frustrated. I was like, what, buddy? Like, what do you need? Like I'm thinking, I'm trying to do this, and like, you should be sleeping till 7. Like you're 3. We should be like, Like, I need you to sleep like your sister type thing. And he was like, okay. And so I walk him in and get breakfast. I walk back out. 5 minutes later, he comes out and he's crying. And I'm like, buddy, what's wrong? I'm thinking he can't find the cartoon he wants. He spilled something. I don't know. And he's like, Daddy, I'm sorry. And I was like, why, bud? Like, what's wrong? And I think he broke something. And he's like, I'm sorry I interrupted your Bible. That's what he said. And I felt, so I was like, I hugged him, and he went back inside, and I made him feel better. And I walked back out, and I just felt conviction. And I just felt like the Holy Spirit said, you don't get to neglect your family to spend time with me. Like, that's not how that, he goes, so if you got to wake up earlier, if you got whatever, but you don't get to create the memory in your 3-year-old that says daddy's with Jesus. So he's not my dad right now type of thing. And so that's why I wake up at 5, is because I know he won't wake up till 6:15. And so I say that because I've disciplined myself to be more quiet, because when they are awake, it's tougher for sure.
Yeah, that is good though. I mean, that time in the morning is valuable. I mean, to kind of set your day, set your foundation. I haven't done that since recently, to be honest. And maybe I did before, but it was off and on. But now it's like set, and I've done some meditation and stuff like that. That's been good, but really just kind of getting your mind in the right headspace. I think it's important first thing in the morning.
It is. If you don't have that time, like if I don't have that time, I don't really wake up. Like I'm not really, and I'm definitely not my best for anybody else.
Oh yeah. I am a different dad, a different husband, a different, like there's been like a handful of times where it's like, oh, we got to go here. And so we got to knock out some stuff before we have a thing at like 9. And I can feel, I'm like short today. Like I'm off. Like I'm a little bit more frustrated than I usually am. I'm responding differently. It's just like not okay. And I know that's what it is.
Looks like we got our guest on.
It does look like we have our guest on. I want to make sure the guest, Spolnicki? That's right, right?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Shot.
All right. What's up, Brian?
Hi.
Well, Brian, what do people normally, like, what's the one way that they mess up your last name? If you're going to say it a different way, how would they say it?
Spolnicki, Spolsticky. I had a professor in college call me Splot.
Oh.
But it's pronounced like it's spelled. Unless you're in Poland, then it's Spolnicki. But we're in the United States, so Spolnicki.
All right, let's do this. Today's guest is someone who's poured his heart, hustle, and hospitality into Fulshear, literally. He's the man behind one of the most beloved spots in town, Culver's, and he's about to open a second location in Katy this August. Born in Detroit, educated in geological engineering up in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and now proudly rooted here since 2006, Brian Spolnicki is a husband, a father, an entrepreneur, an engineer, community supporter, amusement park enthusiast. Oh, yeah, he has ridden more than 300 roller coasters around the world. From service industry roots to software patents, from building burgers to building community, Brian brings a unique blend of people-first leadership and creative curiosity to what he touches. Today, we're going to talk with him about what it's like running local favorites, giving back quietly but meaningfully, and raising future engineers while he believes that Fulshear still holds onto its small-town heart, even if it grows. So buckle up. This is going to be a fast-paced ride. I think it's probably just the way Brian likes it. So welcome to the podcast, Brian Spolnicki.
Right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
He's available for intros on Sundays between 1 and 3.
Yeah,
small
that
fee.
sounds
It's
amazing.
great.
I want to hear about this person you're talking about.
What's amazing is you, Brian, man. Reading just a bit about you. You've got
Seriously.
such an interesting background. I love your connected hobbies and interests that are in there, and yet you're an engineer. And so all this creativity, and then it's packaged in someone who's an engineer, not just an engineer, but a family of engineers, and that is just unique already from the outset.
Yeah. My dad's an engineer. My wife's an engineer. My kids will be engineers. My father-in-law's an engineer. So, yes,
and
we
you
have
guys-
great conversations until the brother-in-law comes in who's not an engineer. Then it gets awkward.
So you did geological engineering? Is that so I read that and I was like,
Hmm.
I've saw that, I think, on Gold Rush when they were trying to identify where the gold was.
Yeah. So geological engineering is sort of so I know Colorado School of Mines has it, Michigan Tech has it, but it's kind of mining, groundwater, oil and gas, reservoir engineering, things like that. So it's kind of a catch-all to all the different disciplines. So I'm not an expert in petroleum necessarily, but I know what they're talking about. So it's a good general engineering degree if we're going to look at geology. So I know geology and geophysics is the difference. So I'm not a geophysicist, I'm not a geologist, I'm a geological engineer. So that's why I was brought to Texas out of college to work for Schlumberger Oil and Gas Services, because I knew what they were doing.
That makes sense. I was wondering what was bringing you all the way down from Michigan, but of course, oil and gas in the industry
Yeah,
here.
they
That
brought
makes
me
complete sense.
here from college directly. So this was my first job out of college. I lived right off of Willcrest in town until we decided we were going to start a family, and that's why we had to move to the suburbs.
So I want to jump back just a little bit
Hmm.
to I'm interested in your upbringing, and you said your dad was an engineer. So you grew up in Michigan?
Yeah. I grew up in the Detroit area, north of Detroit, off of 16 Mile. So everything's by miles. So
Okay.
I was born on 8 Mile at the hospital on 8 Mile. So
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Eminem would know where I was born. I went to, so I'm at 16 Mile, so 8 miles north of there. That's where I grew up with that's where my parents laid roots. Um, a small community right there on Lake St. Clair. Um, let's see, the one time someone described it, Mount Clemens, Michigan. It was on MTV Behind the Music because Kid Rock's from my area as well.
Oh.
So they like to say, "Oh, from the slums of Mount Clemens." I'm like, "What? I didn't realize that I lived in slums. I lived in a typical suburban area." So I wouldn't call it a slum. It's a nice area, and nothing else really notable except for that is I did go to school with Uncle Cracker. He was in my class, if you know who that
No
is.
way. Wow.
But so yeah, so I grew up there. So up there, everybody works in the auto industry. So my dad worked for a small conveyor company. He was a mechanical engineer. But yeah, I always wanted to be an engineer. I actually wanted to be in robotics. I wanted to be in robotics, and then I wanted to do chemical engineering. I looked at that as well. But when I got to Michigan Tech, all the departments were full. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do geological engineering. Maybe I'll switch halfway through to something else. But about halfway through, I was like, I just want to get out of here. What do I need to do to get out of here? It's like, dang, I guess I'm a geological engineer now. And it just so happened I got an offer to work for Halliburton in Lafayette, Louisiana, or I could work at the computer side of Schlumberger in the Galleria area. So I chose the Galleria area. So that was a long journey. That was 23 years at Schlumberger. But that's basically what happened. It's like, oh, I need a job. Um, what do I need to do to get a job?
I
And
feel
that's
like your
something that's
story is something that people resonate with a lot. Where it's like, I want to do this, like especially in your early 20s, right? You go,
yeah.
yeah, I need to do this, and then you land on a job. You're like, I'll do this for like a year or two, pay some bills, and we'll figure it out. And then
Hmm.
like, decade and a half, 2 decades, right? It's like I
Yeah.
feel like that's a lot of people.
Well, I think what the thing that changed it the most was like actually within the first 6 months, because in '98 they had a big layoff. They were laying off like 20,000 people, and we'd be sitting there in the cubicles, and you'd hear the phones go off one at a time, and they were calling you down to the corner
Wow.
office, and these people with masters and PhDs in geophysics and geology were getting let go one at a time, or they'd get transferred out of country because they were trying to move people around as well. And then when my phone went off, I go into the office expecting the words. They're like, "Oh no, you're an engineer. So here's a large book on Unix. Learn Unix." The computer side was actually a hobby of mine in college. I bought a 48633 for $4,000, which is a lot of money back then, on
Yeah.
a monthly payment plan, just so I could have something in my room to get onto the internet So just me wanting to get onto the internet, I was building my own computers and loading random OSs that you never heard of, so I could telnet to another college or go to a roller coaster database group and talk. Or, you know, sorry,
So are you a Windows guy or a Mac guy?
going into nerd mode. Yeah, actually, my daily driver is a high-end Chromebook, and then I do have a Windows PC locked away in a closet. If I really, really need Microsoft, I could just remote desktop and do what I need to do because everything's in the cloud.
Yeah, I would say yeah, it's all in the cloud now. So
Yeah,
and
so
especially
I want something light.
Did you ever think of like starting a business? Because I know that during those times, I mean, that's when Microsoft really took off and the internet, was just being born
Yeah,
essentially. Did you
so
ever
actually,
consider starting anything?
yeah, well, what happened was, okay, so now I'm an expert in Unix. Well, so .com was starting. So I went and interviewed with like WebMD, the company Sabre Holdings Group, which was American Airlines data center. Um, but my manager at the time, who was also from Michigan, said, no, we're just, stay here, you'll work with me. And that's when I moved into sort of network engineering and things like that. So Schlumberger just made it worth my while to stick around, basically. And so I just stayed there instead of leaving for the big .com thing. I mean, I even interviewed with Enron, so it's a good thing I didn't get that job. So
that's fun.
it worked out for me. I did 23 years, and then everything was great until COVID, and that's when things changed.
How did that change things for you? Were there layoffs at that point, or what do you mean?
So what the company was doing was they were making us go unemployed for 2 weeks. So they'd say, "Oh, you're not employed with us for these 2 weeks. Go take unemployment, and then come back in 2 weeks." And that was sort of something that in my mind it's like, I don't know if I'm really safe at all. So it's like, dang, what's my plan B? It's like, wow, I worked at Burger King when I was a kid. No, I know that. That was fun. I had some great managers there. And we were driving up to Michigan to visit family, and we saw this restaurant called Culver's. Culver's. Well, there's a bunch of. So Culver's is like the Chick-fil-A of the North. So
Yeah.
down here, all the Chick-fil-A's are really busy. Double drive-throughs. Well, the Culver's are like that up north, except it's burgers and chicken and fish and basically everything. So it's like, so I just did some research on Culver's. I went back to my wife and my kids and like, yeah, we should do that. We should do that. They're just pushing me. And I had some colleagues from Schlumberger pushing, yeah, go for it. And so then I just did a bunch of research, and I needed something that would match my values. And they go, it's an intensive process to see if you can own a Culver's, similar to a Chick-fil-A. If your values don't match, they kick you out. I mean, you'll
That's awesome.
they'll send you home on the second or third day of your interviews. Um, so that's basically what happened during COVID. It's like, what's my plan B?
Well, it's interesting to bring in Culver's all the way down here because, like I said, they're very very north. And so, what was the idea of that when you approached them and said, "Hey, I want to open one," in a west suburb of Houston? What was their thoughts on that? Or were they looking to get into this market and to have Culver's franchise here?
Yeah. So the interesting thing is Texas isn't a big market for them, and so they've been in Texas for over 20 years. But the reason they were in Texas was because the founder's sister moved to Texas, north of Dallas, back in the 90s. And she said, I want a Culver's here. So they skipped all the states between Wisconsin and Texas, moved straight into Texas, and then almost failed right out the gate down here. I mean, because there's no brand recognition or anything.
Right.
So they've been chugging along for the last 20 years. They had one in the Woodlands, Kingwood at Tuscasita. The Woodlands closed because the owner retired. PDQ Chicken Tenders is coming to town, and they gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. So if you hear about Whataburgers, you have to build 10. Freddy's, you have to build 3. So you have all these people with a lot of money coming in. But I was like, oh no, I don't think I could own anything. But so I did a webinar with Culver's, and there's this lady on the phone. She's like, "Hi, I'm such and such. I'm from Pennsylvania. I want to open 10 Culver's." And da, da, da. I'm thinking, "Oh, I think I'm in the wrong call. I mean, I work for an oil and gas service company. I'm poor. I don't even know." But they're like, they politely shot her down. Said, "No, you can have one." Oh, and we're not really looking at Pennsylvania right now. So then it's like, dang, it's like, but it was such a Wisconsin polite way of shutting her down when they said it. So it's like, oh, maybe this is for me. It was similar to like you hear about Chick-fil-A. It's like you go up there, you work in their restaurant for a week. Like I was there in the first 15 minutes, I was working on the fryers in their restaurant while I still had my job at Schlumberger, by the way.
Wow.
Because I was taking vacation and running orders out to people's cars, and you interviewed with you interview with all the CEO, you interview with all of the vice presidents, you work in their restaurant every single day for 5 days, and then you mutually decide if it's going to work out. And during my week, it was interesting. Craig Culver, the founder, who's if you're from up north, he's on all the TV commercials. He's your Dave Thomas, Colonel Sanders up there. He comes in, and this is right when everything started opening up more widely at COVID. So this is January, and he calls me out to the diner, and it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm starstruck. This is the guy who's on all the TV commercials and everything. And we sit down in the corner and we start chatting. So just like you're asking me these questions, oh, why are you geologically engineer? Where'd you go? He did the same, and he's like, oh, I'm a biologist. He's like, I didn't want to do this.
Wow.
He's like, his parents bought an old A&W, and basically the parents called him back to get that going. So he basically, it's like, okay, I guess I'm not a biologist anymore. I guess I'm going to be doing burgers and fries. And so it's interesting because, I mean, obviously he has to sign off on it too, but he signed off because I was in the science field as well. He knew I'd be more than capable of doing this. We had similar upbringings, except he had real restaurants to play in, where when I was a kid, I had shoeboxes and fake food. Because I was destined to do this. Yeah, when I was a small child, my sister and I would pretend we work in a fast food restaurant because my mom never cooked.
That's hilarious.
So my mom didn't cook. Well, she cooked, and we said this is bad. And she's like, okay, we're not. She said, fine, I'm not cooking anymore. So I have 2 sisters. There's 5 of us in the family. So we ate out every day. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays was Burger King. Wednesdays was Hardee's. Sunday was a Greasy Spoon.
Oh my!
Wow.
So everybody'd have me memorized because I'd go in and do the ordering for the family. I'd go in, get the order, and run out so that I'd have everybody's order memorized. And we pick up a 2-liter of soda at 7-Eleven, and then that was our dinners. So so when we did decide, when everybody heard, what, you're leaving Schlumberger Engineering and you're going to be you're going to flip burgers and own a restaurant. Anybody who knew me was not surprised.
Really?
They're like, yeah, that makes sense. But all my colleagues from, oil and gas, all these, like, what are you doing? And they're like fascinated. And I was like, well, if you actually really knew me, it's not a surprise. My wife thought it would happen eventually. And,
That's interesting because I don't think of engineers and biologists. I don't think of and this is a stereotype, but as hospitality, being great in the people hospitality aspect. I think of those things as more technical, more driven into those niches.
But hospitality comes from the heart, so it comes from the person. And then, are you introvert or extrovert too? I guess most engineers you meet are pretty introverted, I guess. I was never one of those. I was the kid that hung out with the jocks. I played tennis. I was in varsity, and I hung out with the nerds because I needed to get good grades. So
That's
I
awesome.
was sort of, and then I think the Burger King and the amusement park sort of got me out of my shell, right? So because I was quiet, not, but I guess I'm sort of on the borderline introvert extrovert. Um, but
Did
just
you work at
working.
the amusement park in high school? You said you worked on a
I
roller
was in
coaster.
college, so I lived at Cedar Point Amusement Park in Ohio, living in a
Yeah.
dorm, living in the dorms, working
And that's
six
what they have
days a
dorms
week.
for the workers. Is that what they
Yep,
have?
6 days a week. You paid eighteen
Wow.
Wow.
dollars, $18 a week to live there. They took it out of your paycheck.
$18
Hmm.
a week.
Do
Yeah.
they still have that rate? I'll move.
Yeah.
I got no problem.
I'm putting my kids to work.
And then they had
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they had cafeterias and buses that would take you to town, and it was a great job. I loved it. I loved it. It was a $12 million roller coaster, tallest, fastest in the world, and you got to talk to people all day and
Yeah.
people watch. I like people watching. I like being with people. Um, I got very out of my shell, right? Because I'm in the mic talking, oncoming riders, welcome to the Raptor, that type of. Enjoy the rest of your day at Cedar Point. Basically, I have a drive-through headset on most of my life, I guess. 'Cause, and so I did that for 3 years, did an internship, but it was again, for some reason I'm always into the service industry. I have a lot of respect for anybody with a name tag. Dealing with people, working with people all the time. During COVID, at the end, when everybody was confined to their houses, um, I think I was becoming toxic. So they took me away from people. I'm sitting in my house in my Batman pajamas, doing conference calls, telling engineers what I need built. But I don't know, something about not being around people, like, um, it's like, well, this isn't any fun anymore. Let's do something with people. So again, it came back to taking care of people, fast food. I mean, basically, the planet's aligned. If you hear my whole life story, it's like I
Yep.
was destined to be doing this.
Yep.
Uh,
It sounds like it.
and yeah, so here I am.
How
And
did
it's
you
fun.
do the? Sorry, how did you do the 300 roller coaster? Coming back to the roller coaster thing. So, how did you logistically get to 300 different roller coasters? Just
So,
a
well, I
couple a
mean,
year? Or what?
yeah, I guess almost since I was younger, right? Well, Cedar Point
Mhm.
alone had 18.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you'd go there, Six Flags Chicago, Worlds of Fun Missouri, all the Six Flags in Texas. And then when I traveled for work, I'd do some in England. I did some in Paris, um, on my days off, because
Wow.
that's fun to me. Um, even during, so my first international trip was actually to Paris. It was on 9/11.
Mm.
That was my first trip.
Wow.
My first international trip, I was on an airplane on 9/11 and I landed
Wow.
in Paris that morning. The morning, so morning there would be the night before here,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Hmm.
And then, so I made it to Paris. This is before cell phones. So I made it to Paris, 9/11. So it's like, oh, I'm going to go sightsee. So I'd go around town. I'd take the subway. I forget what they call it there. I don't know if it's a metro or something.
Yeah. Metro there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go from site to site. Oh, let's see what the Louvre is. Let's see. It's like I was hearing just sirens all day long. It's like you'd hear sirens, like police sirens. I'm like, what the heck? It's like, man, they have a lot of police in Paris. It's like, and then and these people came up to me on the sidewalk and gave me a hug. It's like, okay, this is a strange place. And they're like, I was like, are you American? That's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, because I'm American. It's like,
Yeah. Right.
I mean, it is
Interesting.
Paris. And then as I made it back to the hotel room, I turned on the TV and I saw that the Twin Towers were hitting all that stuff. I was like, oh, that's what's going on. I think it was
Yeah.
CNN International, because everything else is in French and I didn't speak French.
Yep.
So I called home and told everybody I was safe on the ground and everything. And then I had to figure out how to get home since they shut down
All air
everything
travel.
for a
Yep.
week. Yeah. So, but I think you asked about roller coasters. I don't know how we ended up on 9/11. But of course, I had to go to Disneyland Paris while I was out there and ride some of the rides.
And hit the coasters.
They didn't shut it down yet. I had to get my coasters. It's my happy place.
Is your wife likes roller coasters too? Or?
It was a stipulation of marriage.
Wow.
Yes, I like that.
I was like,
Wow.
this is what I do for fun. Before we get married, I think you need to do the stand-up roller coaster. This tallest, fastest in the world stand-up roller. She did it. She doesn't do it anymore. She caught me now, so.
Will you still ride roller coasters now?
I do. Actually, I was just at Worlds of Fun last week. We were riding roller coasters.
Worlds
in,
of
Kansas
Fun.
City.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kansas City with, because we did Silver Dollar City the year before.
Mm-hmm.
But my kids are adrenaline junkies too. So
Nice.
they love doing the roller coasters. It's like, thank God I had kids that actually want to ride rides and aren't afraid of heights. I wouldn't even know what to do.
Is that Kansas City, you said? Isn't that your neighborhood, Josh?
Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri. That's there. That's where I grew up, man. Riding the Orient Express and the Timberwolf. I don't think either of those exist there anymore. The Zambezi Zinger. I don't think they exist.
The new Zambezi Zinger.
They do. They brought one back. That's in there. But now
they
you
brought
got the
it back.
Mamba and the Patriot. You got some different ones that are there now.
Yeah, my ride when I was a kid was like Patriot. They built Patriot off of my ride, so that's where.
Gotcha.
So we had to ride that one like 5 times while we were there.
That's great.
I have my kids are in front of the Patriot sign saluting America. I have a picture in my phone of that. But yeah,
That's cool.
Roller coasters I always loved. I was like, because we never really went to parks as a kid because my dad didn't work for GM. He worked at a parts supplier. But I really, really wanted to go to amusement parks. So what I did was I bought them tickets for their wedding anniversary. So it's like they had to take us.
There you go.
And then we'd go to Cedar Point, and then even it was funny in high school. My senior trip was to Cedar Point, and I was the kid that didn't make it back to the bus on time because I needed to ride that one last roller coaster. So I got detention when I got back.
You're like, worth it.
You were the kid that they kept counting, and everyone else in the bus is like, "What is happening? Can we just
I
go?"
was
Like they
that
keep
kid.
counting that.
I don't think anyone was happy about that. I got detention. It's funny. So my kids, I was a chaperone for their Six Flags trip at Katy High School for their orchestra, and the clock ticks over for their check-in, and guess who did not come in for their check-in? My daughter. Where's my daughter? Out riding roller coasters. I was like, oh, that checks out. That's family.
Makes sense.
Do you feel like it's a part of the kind of the engineering thing? Like, kind of curious about how they work. Do you feel like that draws you to that equipment, the roller coasters themselves?
Yeah, because it's computers and proximity switches and looking to see where the train is on the track at all times. And that stuff's fascinating. I remember my first year in '94 wasn't a roller coaster; it was a drop tower. And I saw in the window of the operations, it was basically a little 386 computer, desktop computer. That's what runs the whole thing. And now
With
to this
2
day,
megabytes of RAM.
because they moved that ride to Dorney in Pennsylvania. And it's like, I wonder if it's still operating off some tiny computer. But then you go to the $12 million roller coaster in 1994, and it's like a whole data center underneath the ride platform of blinking lights and switches. And that stuff's fascinating to me. I always like to take things apart. That's sort of I guess I've always sort of had an engineering mind. Always wanted to learn new things.
What kind of engineer is your wife?
She is a geological engineer because we met in field camp. We met in field geology camp, taking strike and dip measurements of riverbeds and.
That's the classic story, Brian.
Every time.
That's just
gets him every time.
That's so cliche, Brian.
Yeah,
Met at geological camp, dude. Come on. It was like a Hallmark rerun, man.
And I came back from the amusement park, and I had the good golden tan going and the blonde hair. And,
there we go. Now we're working towards the Hallmark. Thank you for that, Brian. Come on.
She was engaged to be married to somebody else, and then she wasn't.
Now we're the classic story. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This is in theaters this fall.
Mm-hmm.
You were unresistible.
I guess so. She wouldn't say that now. She said I tricked her.
Curious I'm gonna turn over to what you're doing now, and I'm curious, like I love your heart for hospitality. I mean, it oozes out of you, dude. Like, it's just listening to you, watching you and your body language and how excited you get about it. Like, if I work for Culver's as, call it, a high school kid or maybe a college student, like, what are you trying to, if you got to say, hey, if you work for me, I want you to walk away with one thing. What are you trying to get me to learn?
No, I tell the kids that it's like so. If you remember at the beginning, I said I had these great mentors, these great managers, and I tell my managers that too. It's like these kids are coming in here. It's my job to get them to be successful. I want them to be successful, and so I try to give them all the tips and tricks they need, and life learnings. How do you take care of people? How do you do basics? How do you clean? And cook and clean, but how do you talk to people, and how do you take care of people? It's like you need to go touch tables, and I tell them the guests, we have great food, but a lot of our guests aren't coming here for the food. They're coming here for us. It's like you need to keep that in mind. It's like especially during the daytime, a lot of seniors come in. It's like they are coming here to speak to you, and I don't know if they're teenagers. They think they know everything. They don't necessarily believe you yet, but I'm hoping they gain some insights later in life of what I'm trying to teach them. And I do have some kids that I know are going to be really successful because they actually ask me questions, just like you're doing. How'd you do this? How much money is this? Why are you doing this? It's like they're the inquisitive ones. So I really like to help them a bit more because I can see they got on the path. So I always feel like I'm sort of giving back and helping all these kids out.
So you're opening a second location, right, in Katy? So you're in
Yeah,
Fulshear now, and then opening a Katy location.
yeah, right there on 99, just Morton Ranch Road and Pete on the northwest side.
Yeah, I see we haven't mentioned your. Looks like you're in a Culver's. You told me earlier that you are. So
Yeah,
Brian's got a Culver's hat, name tag. He's in the
yeah, I'm
Culver's
sitting in
office.
the office.
Got an apron
Yep.
hanging behind Culver's apron hanging behind him. Looks like.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
yeah.
How is it? I mean, is it very demanding? I mean, how many hours would you say you're normally there, or do you? I mean, as an owner, there's such a variety of different versions of owners to things. Sometimes it's
No,
absentee.
yeah.
Sometimes they're there all the time.
Like I said, I was doing research. These are owner operated. Like Colors expects us to be here. So my franchise consultant comes in from Dallas 4 times a year. The first thing on his form is, was the owner present? But if you actually are looking into opening restaurants, those successful ones are the owner operated ones. Those are your Chick-fil-A's. Those are your Culvers. Those, because I mean, you're there, you're making sure it's going to be successful. You're talking to the guests. And if you actually even think back to other industries, so we talk about amusement parks and you have Disney, their boots are on the ground. So when I was sitting there with the height cane in front of a roller coaster, the CEO of Cedar Fair Parks was walking by with his black name tag. Because his feet are on the ground, he's engaging with guests, he's making sure it's up to the standards that it's supposed to be. So if you look at restaurants, especially in this area, I mean, look who's been here. Carl's Jr. came in, Del Taco came in. Where are they? It's like, where'd they go? Well, they weren't, the owners weren't there. No one was taking care of them. They put some managers in there, just ran it, oh, everybody's coming for the burgers and fries. It's like, no, it's not going to work. You need to be involved in the community. They're missing that part. It's not rocket science. Just take care of the guests and they take care of you. Be part of the fabric of the community. Support them as much as you can.
Do you have people who come in from the north and are like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. This is my favorite."
Yes,
Josh is
all
raising
the
his hand.
time. All the time, and it goes two ways. First, they love it, right? They're like, "I'm so glad you're here," and they'll say, "It's better than the one that I ate at in Wisconsin. Or that is the ultimate compliment. If I can
That's
do
good.
that, right? You get that, but then of course you have the other ones. It's not as good as my one in Illinois. It's like,
Always, yeah.
and then
Oh, it's better than the
I'm
ones
like
in Illinois.
gutted.
I
I'm
promise you,
like
it's better than the
gutted.
ones in Illinois because that's where we were in Illinois before we moved here, and so yeah, our kids when the Culvers opened up, they were so excited
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, you've been in Fulshear for 20-ish years.
Hmm.
What's
Yeah.
your general take on the change? I mean, it's obviously, it's so many, like right now the roads. That's one thing. The
Yeah.
roads haven't quite caught up with the population. But how do you generally feel about the changes of the community?
I, so being here, and I hear all sides because I talk to
Yeah,
everybody, and I talk to the mayor, and the councilmen that come in, and I talk to the guests, and yeah, you have the old school people that moved out here that thought that was just going to be lights out. I'm living in the country, and then but at the same time, these are some of the same people are like, oh boy, I wish I had a McDonald's right here. Oh, I wish I had this restaurant. I had this. I was like, well, you can't have both. You need to, you need to move further out. I think it's like, to be fair, I think or Fulshear did a great, Cross Creek in general in this area did a great job of their plan, and I think it the roads just didn't keep up with the growth.
hmm
Um, it's going to. They'll be done soon, right? 1463, maybe in another 2 to 7 years. 1463 will be done. But and I even when I opened this restaurant, so I mean, like you said, I've lived here forever. This is just fields, and
yeah,
and I
yeah.
opened up a restaurant, and then someone wrote, "Oh, of course I had to put a fast food restaurant." And then Fulshear's, going down the toilet. It's like, they're putting it in next to the McDonald's. I think we're going to be fine.
Right.
Um,
I wanted to ask you about the judo as well, because I saw you. So you were, is it judoka? You were
yeah,
a judoka. Is that the right way to say it?
yeah. I started when I was like 8 years old, and I did judo for like 10 years. And we used to travel like no. So my parents would never let you quit anything. It's like, oh, you join that, you can't quit now. So I was in judo, and my sisters were in judo, and we go to tournaments all over Michigan, Ohio. We went to New York, Canada, and I must have been to over 100 tournaments. I have like 80 trophies I got as a kid um,
Wow.
in judo, and yeah, I didn't really like it too much because I was forced, right? Because you can't quit. But it's kind of, if you think back, it was kind of interesting too because people used to follow me, like they'd have all my stats and stuff. And I'm a
Wow.
kid, but they'd like follow you, and they know how you did in all the tournaments. And well, that's kind of fascinating to have a following. And then I did get
Yeah.
a letter to join the U.S. Junior Olympics, but my parents declined it because they said we didn't have enough money to pay to go out there or anything. I still have the letter though, that's sitting in a
That's cool.
case in the house, and that's fascinating. And then I have you have your rivals too. So you'd be watching Channel 4 News in Detroit, and there's this other kid that you got first in the tournament, and he got third because you beat the guy that beat him, and then he's like he's going to come after me now. That. So you have your rivals that you're also kind of afraid of them, and then yeah. So I did judo for a while. My sister did it. She had a rival too. It was the girl who played the daughter on Home Alone. The older
Oh,
the older daughter,
Wow.
Hillary Wolf, I think her name was.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, it was interesting, but I didn't push my kids. I didn't push them into forcing them into it. It's like I just wanted them to do what they enjoy. So they did club volleyball instead, and the other one did
Which
varsity
is which
diving.
is way club volleyball obviously way cheaper. So really smart. So really smart.
Yeah, it's not
No.
cheaper.
It's a financial move. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
it wasn't. I wasn't upset when she quietly decided not to do that anymore once she was in 10th grade.
You're like, I will let you quit. My parents did not let me. You can
Exactly.
quit whenever.
Exactly.
It's fine. I'm
It's
here to
fine.
support
You're
you.
good. You did
Yeah,
it.
no problem. It's not an
Yeah.
issue.
Then the youngest one did varsity diving. She enjoyed that, and that was cheap.
Cheaper than club volleyball for
That's
sure.
for sure. So
They're in college now, your kids?
yeah, so the youngest graduated Katy High School this spring, and she's going to be a biomedical engineer, and then she wants to go to med school to be a neurologist.
Whoa.
And the older one is just finished her 3rd year of electrical engineering, and she's going to knock out her senior year come this fall.
And they both picked Michigan Tech as well.
Yeah, it's in-state tuition for us.
Does she know how much school is involved in neurology? I mean, that's, what is it, 12 years, 15 years, something like that?
She's going to be
That's
going to
what
school
she
as long
wants
as
to
Tommy
do.
Boy.
That's what she wants to do. I think she'll do it. She has that drive.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between the in-state and out-of-state tuition. That's what I tell my boys is like, I went to the University of Georgia and, they want to follow in those footsteps. I'm like, Texas has got a lot of good schools.
They don't have the plan there. They don't have the
I don't know. Now that you said
legacy.
that, I don't.
You should look it
So,
up.
so if you're alumni, then you get in-state for your kids?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Even if their grandparents would have went to Michigan Tech, they could have got in-state.
Yeah,
But not all the colleges do it. Actually, most of them don't do it anymore, I don't think.
that's the Midwestern hospitality, Luther.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
where it comes
That's
from.
the Upper Peninsula. That's basically northern Wisconsin.
Yeah.
There's still there's still cheese hats when you walk into the department store up there. Some cheese heads.
So good.
So Brian, what is your favorite thing on the menu at Culver's?
A bacon deluxe.
No hesitation.
Double cheese with bacon, mayo, lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion. And that's my favorite.
So the real question is, how many times a week do you have that?
Oh, I don't eat that every day. No. I eat grilled chicken and broccoli.
There you go. There we go.
No, that's my treat once a week. I had it this morning. That was my breakfast of champions today. Was the bacon deluxe. But yeah, I eat it. I eat at Culver's every single day. It's for the last 4 years, basically. And then we're on our trip up north and use so we're with the kids, we're all in the car. Next exit Culver's, next exit Culver's, next exit Culver's. We're like, no, we're not eating. We've had enough Culver's.
We've had
We're on
enough.
vacation. I'm not getting any money out of it. That's a different owner.
There you go.
I don't know. Cheese curds and a patty melt? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
You can eat it every day. I mean, when I first learned about Culver's, I gained 30 pounds. So when I opened my Culver's, I lost 30 pounds. Because you start to learn what to eat.
Did you say cheese curds, Josh? Is
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yes. They are wonderful.
Oh yeah, cheese curds are amazing. That's what I get.
I've been to Culver's, but it's been a while. I need to stop over there. Cheese curds. That's on like on a hamburger?
No. Well,
We do that in October.
yeah. No, you just get them as a side of cheese curds.
Side little cheddar cheese ball, breaded cheese balls.
They're super good. Super good.
They're really
And
good.
the pot roast is really good there too. The pot roast
Yeah,
dinner.
the pot roast
Dinner's very good
sandwich
there,
and
yeah.
the dinner.
Yep.
They have pot roast? Huh. I need to go over there.
But
I'm gonna go over there.
we're big on the seafood though, especially at Lent, because we have cod and we also get walleye. We get walleye in the spring. Of course, we're in Texas and nobody knows what that is, but if you're from up north, you know walleye is a good piece of fish coming from the waters of Wisconsin and Canada.
Yep. Yep. Luther, time for me to make a trip to Culver's.
Trip to
I
Culver's.
will. I'm gonna get some cheese curds. I don't know what that is, so I'm
It's gonna explore.
awesome, Brian. Well, thanks for your time. I know you're busy. You got to get back on the register. We appreciate your you got an amazing past, and
Yeah, you didn't even do
Really-
the patents or anything.
that's right.
That's
Yeah, I
fine.
know. We can
People
have
can
it
look
to
at
be
my
continued.
LinkedIn.
Maybe.
They can look at my LinkedIn. It's fine. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it was great to meet you, Brian. Great to meet you. Thanks for taking the time.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Brian.
thanks, Brian. We'll see you. Interesting guy.
Yeah. 300 coasters. He still didn't explain. He was like, "Oh no, I just go on coasters wherever I go." And I'm like, but 300." He's like, "Well, there's 18 in Sandusky alone at Cedar Point." And I'm like, "That's not even 5%. Like, what? Like, where's the other? Yeah, there's 95% of coasters you did elsewhere." So I'm like, that tells me, man, you've hit a lot of parks.
That takes effort. That's like a lot of intent. You have to be intentional. You can't just be like, "Oh, when it's convenient, I'll pop into a park."
Yeah, you got to make it a part of your marriage contract. It's got to be that intentional.
That was so
that
great.
intentional.
There's a requirement for his wife. I feel like with these, like I kind of want to have the spouse on, like maybe have the spouse on next.
Right.
The next episode is the spouse. Get both sides of the story.
How did this work? And how did he sneak you away? Wait a second. You were engaged. It went from a Hallmark movie to a Lifetime movie real quick.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to pry on that, but it's interesting.
Fun stuff.
That's a smart family, though, hands down. That's some intelligent folks.
Yeah, engineer, and just it is so interesting to hear the idea of like going from that to owning a franchise. And he's like, "Yeah, if you know me, it's exactly what I do." I was like, "Man, but you just don't put that together from the outside." I don't see a lot of my engineer friends like the creative side like that in that way. I don't know. It's neat. It's neat. Unique.
Yeah, in hospitality in general, I just don't think of engineers with that. But he said the founder of Culver's was a biologist, right? So
yeah,
to each their own.
I guess it happens with it. I mean, I figured, most of my engineer friends, they want to figure out how to make a passive income completely where they don't have to be anywhere near boots on the ground or connecting to anything with it. And I love his mentality is kind of like, no, I want to be fully vested, fully involved in making sure we're taking care of people. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, that's awesome. Good. Most unique vacation somebody's ever been on, though, was I went on vacation to go flip burgers and run cash registers.
That is pretty wild. Like, what'd you do on vacation? You don't want to know. It's not as exciting.
I fried cheese curds.
Yeah. It's not as exciting as yours probably for you, but I was pumped about it. What? I met the CEO of a fast food joint. Like, good for you, dude. Like, what? Somebody at the water cooler was talking like, what is going on with that guy,
what's he doing?
Is he okay?
But what a great way to make sure your franchises all, stay in the same family when it comes to how they treat people and how they treat the industry. So great. Yeah. Kudos to them. I didn't know that about Culver's, and now it makes me like him even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go try it for sure. Cheese curds and pot roast. And I thought
Luther got hungry quick. He was like, what
I'm
is
genuinely
at this place?
curious. I'm genuinely curious because I'm like, did you say pot roast?
Pot roast.
I think of it as fast food. I don't know the difference, but that's why I need to go try it.
Yep. That's it. And then a lot of times we just go there for the ice cream. So
that is true. That's what they're known for a lot here is the ice cream. Yeah. Ice cream is pretty legit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, what you got for us, John?
I was in. Here's the thing. So this has been.
So now he's just gonna blame it on his kids or something else.
No. So it's the 4th of July weekend, and I was very busy. I was looking up what everybody does backyard games, 4th of July, right?
Yep.
So we got cornhole, we got all kinds of stuff. And so I was looking it up. Do you guys know what the most played backyard game is on the 4th of July weekend?
Cornhole's got to be up there. That's got cornhole championships on right now. So.
Badminton.
Badminton. I didn't even think about that one. Yeah.
What's the one?
Cricket.
The one with the mallets and the
ball. Croquet.
Yeah.
Bocce ball.
Horseshoes.
None of those.
Horseshoes.
It's flag football.
Oh, flag football.
Get it? Flag football. You get it? Flag. American flag. You get it? You don't. You get the flag.
You got it, Josh. You got it, buddy. No.
You see? Flag football. You see? There's flags. There's
you got it, Josh?
No. It's got the
flags.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how bad that joke was.
I can't tell if he's got it.
Yeah.
I think he got it. I got it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go with that one.
Listen, If you want me to say that on opening weekend at church, you let me know, and I will just polish that thing.
We're just gonna save that one. You let that one sit for a while. That needs to be aged.
You save that? Okay.
That needs to be aged for a few years, maybe. I don't know.
That's not a problem. Listen, every 4th of July, I'm gonna stretch and just get ready. And if you don't call me off the bench, it's not a problem. It's fine. We'll just,
Look for the signal.
That's right. That's right.
This has been Faces of Fulshear. Your hosts today were Josh Cullen, John Harper, and Luther Berry. Sound and editing for Faces of Fulshear were meticulously mastered by yours truly. As always, thank you for joining us for this episode, and remember, stay classy, Fulshear.